Why play Azir mid lane? Well, he has amazing range. He can keep himself incredibly safe with a massive dash. He is a beast in a team fight, and he scales incredibly well. However, he is squishy, especially if CC'd, and his combos can be avoided with flashes and dashes. Azir's passive is he can summon a tower wherever a tower has been destroyed. This is done by clicking on a destroyed tower, and it will activate after 5 seconds. The tower decays over 30 seconds and loses a ton of resistances if Azir is far away or dead. Azir's Q lets him choose a point near him, and all his sand soldiers will dash to that point, dealing damage and slowing enemies they pass through. If an enemy is hit by multiple soldiers, they only take the damage once, but are instead slowed massively more for each additional soldier. Azir's W summons a sand soldier, which is an untargetable entity, and it survives for 10 seconds and grants sight of its nearby area. They do expire much faster, however, if near an enemy tower or if Azir is too far away from them. This ability works on an ammo system, and Azir can have 2 stored up to one time. While the soldiers are out, if Azir attacks an enemy within range of the soldier attacks instead, dealing damage to all enemies in a small line. If multiple soldiers attack the same target, the damage after the first one is reduced. And it's good to note the soldiers can't attack structures, wards, or traps. Azir's E is used by targeting a soldier. Upon use, it dashes him to the soldier, granting a shield and damaging all enemies he passes. If he hits an enemy champion while dashing, he stops and is granted a charge of his W. Azir's ultimate is a rectangular skill shot which throws out a line of soldiers. Enemies hit take damage and are knocked away. Upon finishing their charge, they stand as a wall for 5 seconds, acting as impassable terrain. Azir's main combo is the Shurima Shuffle. This is where you use W and then E to the soldier. Just before you reach the soldier, however, use Q to move the soldier to a new location, and as long as this is used before you reach him, you'll then dash to the new location. Upon doing this massive movement, you can then follow up with ultimate, launching their team into yours. For matchups, Azir does well into assassins who he can easily avoid and out-teamfight. However, he can struggle against champions who can scale well and out-teamfight him. For runes, take this, he procs Conqueror incredibly fast. For build orders, start Ring and Pot into Ludens and tier 2 boots. Follow up with a Shadow Flame to a Deathcap and Zhonya's before finishing a build with any of these. For skill orders, start W then Q then E before maxing Q then W then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Teleport. Starting the game, you're looking to play safe and farm hard, making sure you enter the mid game as strong as possible. The early game is Azir's weakest point, with lower damage, long cooldowns, and most importantly, insanely high mana costs. At this stage, your Q and E should only be used sparingly as they're incredibly expensive, but you can still use W often. However, he does still have access to great trades and poke. Your soldiers give you a great zone of control which your opponent can't enter without taking free damage, and if they overextend, having a couple of soldiers out for the larger slow can get you many free auto attacks after you Q. When trading, the shield on your E with the extra soldier it gives is key to winning, so when looking for these longer trades, getting a dash into them is great. With regards to lane control, simply hard pushing the lane is a great default. This gives you great map control and makes you safer as they need to spend their time under their tower farming. And of course, if you're ganked, you have a massively long range dash to get yourself to safety. Entering the mid game, your bot lane will come mid, which means you need to get yourself into a side lane. Push out the wave as far as you can safely before grouping back with your team for skirmishes and objectives. Entering late game team fights, you can either play as the backline hyper carry or your team's engage. While playing as your team's engage, wait for your opportunity to Shurima Shuffle behind important targets and knock them into your team. Otherwise, play the backline hyper carry, get your soldiers up and spam out high amounts of consistent damage. Save your ultimate to knock away anything coming towards you, otherwise look for your opportunity to Shurima Shuffle mid fight.